Welcome back. I know you miss me. It's Coach P, aka Goat Doe, the unofficial assistant coaches. You might know me as Coach Oos. Honorary Uso. It's getting ugly in these playoff streets, man. It's getting crazy. And when I mean it's getting ugly, it's getting ugly. I'm talking about ugly like a baby from Wanda and Shabba. FSU still out here crying over spoiled milk, man. Throw that gallon away and keep it moving. Spoiled milk, spilled milk, it don't matter. You can't drink it no more. Forget putting all this in the hands of the football guys. FSU said they rolling with the court's decision. Shout out to Mobile one time for my main man, the last Mr. Big. FSU said we taking this to trial. Strike it up and light it up. The fan base going crazy, calling everybody out, pointing fingers, dissing every fan base, but we ain't your enemy, man. Your frustration should be in-house. Your conference. The people over your conference. The people who made your schedule. Y'all blaming everybody but the right people. But I'ma imitate a number 2 pencil, a trapper keeper, and an apple. I'ma just keep it classy. Now I'ma give you this, Florida State, the war chant. Y'all got that. Y'all win at that. That's hard. Everything else gonna need work. Especially the football team. You think beating up on no-name teams getting you somewhere, it ain't gonna work, man. We know the potential your program has. It can get back to dominance. But just because you had a weak schedule this year and think beating up on those scrubs and a team you already beat last year when you were still struggling doesn't mean you get to go to the championship. An undefeated season does not mean I go to the championship. An undefeated season does not mean I automatically go to the championship. Florida State, and watch who you make your enemies when you get mad at the world. Now let's check out at least 20 things we done found out thus far. Since going to the courts really found you nothing. Y'all have got nothing from it. So let's just pull out 20 things that we do know thus far. Number 1, as stated, we are not your enemy, especially at Alabama. Bama was just left out last year. And we knew when y'all left us out, it was going to be a free ride to a ring for a Georgia team who get a cupcake version of an SEC schedule every year. You think y'all schedule was weak in 7 days? Go check out Georgia 2022 schedule. A straight joke. A bigger joke than you find on these candy wrappers and popsicle sticks. Man, Georgia 2022 schedule was a bigger joke than any knock who's that crap you ever hear in your life. Then end that weak season with a free TCU championship game. Only Michigan can lay an egg versus a TCU team in the playoffs. Look what we did to the team that beat them. Let's get to point number 2. Everyone hates Bama. Many people tend to hate other teams who win a lot, minimizing other teams' chances of doing the same. And Bama ain't no different. So many people tired of just hearing Bama name. It's called Bama fatigue. Don't know what make y'all think voters, refs, anybody outside our fan base, don't know what make you think anybody else is rooting or voting for us. Which gets us to number 3. If y'all really had a chance, they would take y'all over us any day. Y'all act like people view y'all as a Central Florida or a Liberty-sized program. People ain't looking over y'all as if y'all ain't a big enough draw. A true dog FSU team with all the parts working that prove itself versus real teams through the year and make it wouldn't be a blackout of college football. It's more I can go at in this number 3 alone, but it's going to be covered later. So let's just move on to number 4. Your biggest win is Bama's 3rd biggest win. Let's remember that. Mr. Let's keep it all on the field. Okay, well, your biggest win on the field is our 3rd biggest win. Y'all been losing like what? 4, 5, 6, 7 games a year since 2017. And even last year, you still lose 3 games, but you beat LSU. You beat LSU last year when you're still struggling. And now you beat that same LSU team this year and you feel you should go to the championship. You beat no one else this year besides a struggling LSU. They replaced their coach for a reason. That program is down right now. You don't replace coaches when your program doing good. They're bad right now. The Nick Saban LSU mystique is gone. The momentum he had going over there is all the way sizzled out. They rode that wave long as they could. Now they trying to get it all back out of Chip Kelly. But they ain't go... Chip Kelly, Brian Kelly, Kelly Blue Book value. It don't matter his name. It ain't Nick Saban. Y'all think y'all get to go to a championship because y'all got past a struggling LSU program who ain't got nothing to shine or cheer about in the last few years but getting past the Alabama team by one after we commit 138 penalties. Not yours, but 138 penalties in a game, which helped them win by one. Man, get out of here, man. LSU struggling and doing bad. Y'all beat them last year while y'all was struggling. But this year when you beat them, just because y'all have no one else on the schedule, y'all feel that game should put y'all in the championship. And y'all go cry about it. And y'all know most of these fans don't really know what's going on. Y'all just screaming the whole undefeated crap and think you just supposed to get in. Y'all know that ain't how it works. This is crazy. 5. We all know this. Everything would have been better if they just dropped Michigan for cheating. Why is y'all talking noise to people like Alabama? Call out Michigan, man. Call out the committee and point the finger at Michigan. Why is they letting those guys in? They should be skipped a year just off the egg they laid last year versus TCU. They lay eggs every year. They lay eggs every year. Overrated ain't the word. Don't have one game per year, and you better not even mention Penn State. Penn State versus Ohio State and Michigan ain't foul. Get for real. The only game Michigan really has every year is Ohio State. Yet they coach still can't get it together over there. One game per year. Can be in the playoffs every year. One game per year. Now you got to resort to cheating. Trying not to be the next Jimbo Fisher. Getting all this money. All these overrated accolades and ain't won nothing. Ain't did nothing. Now you got to start cheating. Wasn't even mad about it. Smiled the whole year through it. Joked about it. Laughed about it. All y'all gave him was a few games. Games that they don't need him on the sideline during those games. Are y'all crazy? There go the whole mess up right there, letting Michigan in. They don't do nothing but stink it up all the time anyway. So just eliminate them for cheating and everybody cool. But if we still taking the 4 best teams, as I said in the other video, that still would have put Georgia in front of you, Florida State, especially without your quarterback. 6, let's be honest. Florida State, without their quarterback, would have been a free win for anybody in the first round. Florida State, you know that. You just want to go just to say you went. Just so you can cheer when they announce your name. I know y'all missed. I know y'all wanted that feeling. We get that. But once you got in, it would have just been a stink fest for the first round. Whoever gets you would have had a first. Michigan would have had a first. Well, I ain't going to lie. You probably could have got past a Michigan. I give you that. I give you that because you never know what you going to get. Michigan might come and play Bama, the best game they ever played in their lifetime. But versus the average team, Michigan going to come out and lay an egg. Let's just be real. So Florida State, now that I think about it, now during this video, I'm thinking Florida State, you might got a point. Because you could have got in and did the same thing TCU did. You might could have snuck Michigan, sorry, but now with all the sign stealing and all that, ain't no telling what Michigan got ready for Alabama because they know this is one of the teams that should have made. That Michigan probably got the ultimate package for Alabama or Georgia. Who knows? But for all these other teams that just would have made it though, all of you had a chance. Because if they ain't already got your signs, they done got caught now. So they ain't no taking signs now that we know the playoff teams. So you probably have a chance. But the teams that been on the course for the championship, like Georgia or Bama, they probably got everything we got down pat. But for any of you other teams, like a Florida State, man, Florida State, I give it to you on this one. I give it to you. You probably could have got in there and battled with Michigan. Half you programs, ain't none of y'all done did what these boys over here done did. Even if the SEC done fell out, we done been through it when the SEC was the trenches. We ain't never had it like Georgia got it. Look at Georgia's schedule. Look at the SEC lease. We in the SEC West. Look at the SEC lease. Not the East, the lease. Tell me Georgia don't have a free walk to the SEC championship every year. Not most of the time. Every year. Not 90% of the 100% of the time. A free walk to the SEC championship. Let's get to number 7. All the big teams played each other. These scrubs talking about it should be decided on the field. It was decided on the field. Y'all didn't bring anybody worth talking about to the field. We know LSU slacking. Y'all feel like beating them should get you in? No. The top teams played each other. Y'all didn't play nobody. Texas beat Alabama. They didn't have to schedule us. We didn't have to schedule them. We played each other. It was handled on the field. Texas beat us. They in. Alabama played Georgia. The team everyone said couldn't be beat again. And as usual, we beat them. We done beat them 5 out of 6 times with Kirby. And y'all still act like they got a shot with us. The only time they beat us, I'm sorry, I keep saying we was missing our 2 receivers. I didn't tell y'all the full story. We was also missing Rolleth. We was also missing Jace. We was down our 3rd running back. Missing our 2 receivers. And missing Job. And missing Armour Davis on the defensive end. We missing our top 2 running backs, top 2 receivers, key pieces in our defensive backfield. And we still hold the lead all the way through 3. All the way to the 4th quarter. And that was with what y'all call the best Georgia team of all time. We whooped y'all the same year. Missed all those key components and y'all barely get us in the 4th quarter on that same year. Take away that one game with all those handicaps. You can't take a third of the man team and say still go out there and beat the best team y'all feel that could be put on the field versus these guys. You take all those players away, we probably still beat 90% of the nation. But you talking about the best Georgia team of all time before we played. When we went into the SEC championship that year, we had no chance. Whooped them. Bad report card style. Played them again with 6 key losses. Not just random cats. 6 key losses. Probably equal what you would lose at quarterback Florida State. Now think about that. Why Danny K talking about some, well, Michigan lost one of their players and this team lost one of their players. Man, gone. Not their quarterback. And forget losing 8 players. How about losing 6 players of key positions? 6. 4 of your top offensive players. 4 of your top weapons. Even at a school where you talking about the next man up, you just don't win like that. We had Trey Sanders in the game, coming fresh back off of a car accident. Ain't played no meaningful minutes. Thrust in the game. We need you now. Because the other guys are gone. Go rewind the tape, man. And still almost beat these boys. Because Nick is Kirby daddy. How don't y'all see that? Y'all so quick to want to try to overwrite Nick and ride him out of here. This man owns Kirby. Look at the only victory Kirby got on Nick. That man almost 6-0 against you. We play that same team with our same healthy team that we whooped you with in the SEC ship. It ain't just going into the 4th quarter up on you. It's going to the 4th quarter up on you and closing it out. Back to number 7. All the teams have played each other. Texas beat Alabama. Alabama beat Georgia. Michigan beat Ohio State. Cheating or not, they played each other. Washington can claim they beat an overrated Oregon 2 times versus you playing that LSU team that's been struggling. That's between y'all. But the bigger teams played each other. It was decided on the field. You playing LSU ain't deciding nothing. Again, you beat that same LSU team last year when you were still struggling. So how do you get in the playoffs this year by beating that same team that you proved you could beat when you couldn't even beat Wake Forest? You couldn't even beat North Carolina State, but you could beat LSU? Quick question, off the record. Because, Florida State thinks football a little different than everybody else. Let me just ask you this. Last year when you beat LSU, but lost to Wake Forest, Clemson, and North Carolina, forget Clemson, even though they struggling these days too. Last year when you beat LSU, did that make Wake Forest and North Carolina State also better than LSU? You lost to them, but you beat LSU. So Wake Forest is now better than LSU last year is what you telling me. Last year Wake Forest was better than LSU is what you telling me. Because we got to have common sense and we have to have a little eyeball test and we got to factor all this. Don't just throw numbers at me. Oh, we undefeated. No, let's talk about this. Because like the guy told Feinbaum, all undefeated teams aren't created equal. If North Carolina State or struggling Clemson and Wake Forest and Florida State, who just came back from losing 30 games a year prior to that last year, if all those teams better than LSU last year, we trickle up to this year, what, LSU are all of a sudden a powerhouse again? If all those teams proving to be better than LSU from your standards last year, Florida State, then why beating that same LSU team catapults you to the playoffs this year? No other team on your schedule. Explain that to me in the comments. I'll wait. Not only by your standards, Wake Forest, North Carolina State, you and Clemson better than LSU last year. They also lost 4 games total themselves. LSU done lost 7 games in the last 2 years. What make you think beating that struggling program gets you in the playoffs? That's all you had on your resume this year. I see if the only team that beat them was us and you. They lost 3, 4 last year, 7 in 2 years. You act like you beating an Alabama program that's been putting up big numbers, or Georgia in their last 2-year run to say one team can get you all the way to the playoffs. If it's going to be one game that catapults you all the way to the playoffs, it ain't going to be a team that lost 7 games in 2 years. Now tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, Florida State. You beat Georgia in these last 2 years, or you beat Bama, okay. But a team that lost 7 games in 2 years, you really think just putting that one game on your schedule gets you in? Even when you prove you can beat them when you couldn't beat Wake Forest and North Carolina State. And a struggling Clemson. And now this year when you beat all those scrubs that you supposed to beat and you still beat LSU again, now you get to go to the ship. We undefeated, y'all. Look, we ain't win. We ain't lose. No, man, that ain't how it goes, man. Undefeated does not mean you go. Y'all keep talking about playing on the field and ignore the fact that it was played on the field. Let's get to number 8. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips. Jim Phillips. That's one of the folks who stopped the 8 to 12 team playoffs. Him and 2 other conferences. Greg Sankey, SEC, wanted 12 this year. Y'all still wanted 4. So we got our 4. We got our 4. I see if y'all was pushing for the 12 and teams like the SEC like, nah, man, let's keep it with 4 because we know we go get our 2 in. We know we go get our 1 in. Y'all wanted this, man. It's just like all the rules y'all be coming up with and Saban warn y'all about them. Then y'all still go do it. Then Saban come and capitalize on them. Man, we warned you before you did it. You was warned. Y'all had a chance to shoot this down. Y'all didn't, and you got shot down. Don't take that out on us, man. Number 9. Again, this rule was already in place. It ain't like this something that the commission put together after they seen how the cookie crumbled this year. Or when the smoke cleared, they just came up with this rule. This been in place. And it's perfectly suitable for your team. Because you already a liability even with your quarterback. Even with your quarterback, we don't know who you are. You beat LSU, what that mean? We don't know if Florida State truly back. Every year going into a season, we think y'all finna do something, y'all lose 4-5 games. Now y'all done finally came up out of them slumps and y'all think because you beat this one team that you ready for the big dance? What y'all trying to go from scrubs to king? What y'all trying to make a movie? What y'all trying to get a movie deal? This criteria was made for teams like you. Because even with your quarterback, we don't know what we get from you in these playoffs. You still might be a free win for the first round team. Denisha talking about, I'm sorry, man. Danny Cannell keep talking about other teams lost this player, lost that player. We talking about Florida State, a suspect team losing a quarterback. We do not know Florida State really back to big boy football by beating the schedule that they just beat. And I just still can't believe Florida State bragging on what their defense did to Louisville. Man, please, that quarterback over there, that guy Plummer really needs to be a plumber. Straight Pepe Le Pew. Go look at that guy IG page. It seemed like his whole fan base hate him. But like I said, when you're in a cupcake conference like that, you get to play against teams like that for the conference championship. That weak win is not impressive and doesn't catapult you to the playoffs. Number 10, backtrack to this other point. Georgia would still get in over Florida State if we're talking best 4 teams. Now, when y'all want to try to slide in off the criteria or off the deserving list, whatever. But if we just talking about the best 4 teams, Georgia still trumps you. Georgia losing to Alabama does not make Florida State or any other team better than Georgia. That just means Alabama's better than Georgia. You're not better than that team now because they have a loss and you don't. If you play Liberty that weekend and Georgia play Alabama and Georgia lose to Alabama, you're not better than that Georgia now because you beat Liberty. You just luckily you didn't have to play a powerhouse too. Why don't y'all understand that, man? Pause it right here, Florida State. Do you think if you play 3 teams, let's say Florida State, you finna play Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, and Troy University out of Alabama. And Georgia has to play Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas. Georgia come out of there 2-1. You 3-0. Do you get to go to the championship over Georgia? Are you really better than Georgia? Because you got 3 wins to 0 losses. And Georgia probably lose that one game probably by 3 to 6 points. Maybe even 2. But you better because you undefeated. Do y'all get where we going yet? Or you just gonna still ignore everything and say, man, forget all that. We should be there. Are you really seeing the picture or you just gonna still just keep saying Forget that we undefeated. We was robbed. Georgia will still be better than Florida State this year off the eyeball test and whatever other test y'all want to put out there. It's only one team that's proven to be better than Georgia, and that's Alabama. Year in, year out. That does not make Florida State better than Georgia because they went and lost to Alabama again. Point 11. Bama lost to a number 3 team. A team that's in the playoffs. I see if this was 2018 when Ohio State, a conference champion, get blowed out early in the season by an unranked Purdue team. Forget barely beating Arkansas. What if Arkansas whooped us by 22, 37, some random numbers? Okay then, now we can talk. Bama's only loss is to another team that's in the playoffs. Like y'all said, leaving on the field, somebody had to lose. And we knew going in the game that we were struggling with our identity. We knew that. That was the perfect time to get Alabama. We had civil unjust amongst our own fan base about what we had going on. We knew what we was facing. 12. The best thing Florida State can do is hang on to this crying approach and just skip the game altogether. Y'all can't make all this noise then go ahead and get blown out by Georgia. But the best thing y'all could do is hope that Georgia has gotten on their spoil mode like Alabama early now Nick Saban career when we get on our high horse and basically not show up the games if it won the championship. If you can get you a Georgia team like that, maybe. Otherwise, Georgia go hit you in your mouth. Your best thing to do is just skip the whole game. Now, granted, I'm going to say it because like I said before the Georgia game, I don't look at Georgia like a lot of y'all other teams look at, oh, this the best team ever. They go 3P, they go... Georgia ain't did nothing, man, but dodge Alabama. Like I said, the year that y'all claimed they was the biggest, baddest ever, you saw what we did to them when we was healthy. Then they sneak us in the rematch. They dodged us the whole next year. And now here we go this year. We don't look at Georgia like everybody else do. And look at them when we played them in the SEC championship this year. Go look at my breakdown. Had so many points that we left on the board. And we still beat them. Could have been a skunk. Could have blew them out. I said it pregame on Unofficial Biz. They be looking like giants to all you guys. To us, straight pound puppies. Should be 6-0 against them. So yeah, Florida State, they can be beat. They're not the big, bad, scary dogs that everybody think they are. Especially not to me and my fan base. But for teams like you, you might run in there and get beat to sleep. So the best thing for you to do is just skip the game altogether. All this crying, you might as well skip. Because if you do all this crying to go in there and get your teeth knocked down the back of your throat, we ain't gonna never respect you again. Imagine doing all this crying to get into the top 4, but you can't even beat the number 5 or 6 best team. Don't go in that game and get blown out. Y'all ain't gonna be able to hit the end of this. Even if you go in there and win, it don't mean you're supposed to be in the championship because you didn't play a game like that during the season to let us know. You beating Georgia during the season. Oh, you in the championship playoffs. It ain't no talk about it. And it's still gonna be big money because you a big program. You ain't one of the biggest cash cow programs, but your name move numbers. Florida State on the BCS championship, playoff championship is all the same. Y'all still a good draw if you're worth being there. If you beat Georgia during the regular season, that would have meant you supposed to be in the playoff. If you beat them right here in your bowl game, that don't mean that the committee got it wrong. You schedule some of these big games like that during your regular season, we won't have this talk, Florida State. LSU ain't the ones. The traditional LSU, maybe. Y'all can play that same cupcake schedule and play one of the old LSU teams before these little broken years right here, and maybe you do get in. But this little team that you beat even when you were struggling, this little team that just hired a new coach because they struggling, you don't get into the playoffs by beating that one team. You played no one else. Y'all don't care about beating Georgia, though. Y'all just want to get in. Y'all don't care about beating Georgia or any of those teams in the top 4. Y'all just want in. This ain't no deserving award, man. You don't deserve to go because you undefeated. Y'all know y'all wouldn't go all the way. Y'all just want to get in. Man, get out of here. Y'all just making noise. Come on, Florida State. You're better than that. I hope. Well, I thought. Maybe you're not. 13. Florida State has done absolutely nothing thus far but fishing for attention and sympathy from the masses who don't understand what's going on. Let's be for real. Money go always be one of the deciding factors. I'm not finna watch college football playoff championship if it's versus Liberty and Central Florida. It is what it is. Might just have it on the TV or something, but I'm not breaking my neck to make sure I'm getting there. People throwing parties, people finna have get-togethers and all that. For that, yeah, it's money involved. But this wasn't a money pool. This is where everything was actually done right. You just looking for sympathy from those who don't know what's really going on. Yeah, it sounds good when you said, oh, but we was undefeated. It was undefeated. Okay. But whoever said that gets you in. That gets us to 14. Y'all been losing so much lately that y'all done finally got an undefeated season and thought y'all just supposed to walk straight into the ship. It's just supposed to be a for show trip to the playoffs because y'all undefeated. Now let's look at this. Let's replace LSU with Troy and y'all go undefeated. Do y'all still get to go to the playoffs? That same schedule you just ran. Replace LSU with Troy. Replace LSU with Vanderbilt. Do y'all still go? Look at your schedule without LSU. Put Vanderbilt right there. Do y'all go? Or do y'all just get laughed at? But now you put that same game back on your schedule. You think that one game turns that little schedule you had into a championship pedigree schedule? LSU. Not traditional LSU. LSU trying to bounce back LSU. That one game. You feel you should be in the playoffs for that one game. I'm hoping these metaphorical approaches can help you see what you're saying. Or help you see what I'm saying. Because you ain't making no sense with what you saying. LSU that nice, huh? I see if LSU beat us this year. And then y'all beat them. But no. We all beat LSU. LSU lost 3 games. Brag on beating undefeated teams or single loss teams. Like you say, all the big boys played each other. 15. Clemson weak, which kills your schedule. When they had a powerhouse, y'all suck. Y'all only got room for one football team every 4 to 8 years. It's like presidency. Maybe if Clemson was worth something, you probably get in. Florida over there looking like Wake Forest. If they weren't so sorry, maybe you get in. Don't blame Alabama because y'all having to play cupcake. Y'all the type school that beat a team and then still be rooting against the team the whole rest of the year. Nah, once y'all beat those teams, y'all need those teams to kick everybody else butt to make y'all look good. Instead, them teams you beat got beat by everybody else too. Which gets me to number 16. Florida State claimed to be 2-0 versus the SEC. Alabama 9-0 this year versus the SEC. Try that. We beat the same team you beat. We beat 2 SEC teams. Yeah, the other SEC team you beat, we beat the team that beat them. We see you trying though, but you ain't proved nothing to be back. You ain't beat no teams that vouch you should be at the big dance. You played one meaningful game all year, and that was at the beginning of the year. Who's to say unless you don't beat you by 21 if y'all play again right now, even though they done lost 3 this year. But then you get to play a championship game that's so soft that you probably could have won it with your backup punter at quarterback. But you thinking beating that team and LSU gets you in a championship. It's almost laughable. 2-0 versus the SEC and we 9-0. Don't brag on the SEC if we can't brag on the SEC. We 2-0 versus the SEC. Well, we 9-0. Well, the SEC ain't what it used to be. Well, why you bragging on being 2-0 versus the SEC? Our conference this and that versus the SEC. Yeah, because y'all picking and choosing who you playing. Like picking points on the dice. Y'all ain't betting 10-4. Y'all just betting 6-8. 17. The easiest thing, strength of schedule, man. Alabama number 5. You don't supposed to be undefeated. Theoretically, when you play the 5th hardest schedule in the nation, you don't supposed to be undefeated. And if you go lose what they say, lose early. Florida State 55. Who is y'all, Crip Mac? Florida State gonna keep it 50 that fair straight. 55, what? Y'all don't even have a top 25 strength of schedule. Y'all just gonna keep it 50 that fair straight. Y'all supposed to be undefeated with a schedule like that. Especially when Clemson suck. Let's get to 18. Danny K talking about some Ohio State won with his backup. Ohio State played the number 13 team the next week and whooped them 150-0 to 0. 0, Craig. Ohio State beat them boys 59-0, proving that it didn't matter who their quarterback was. Y'all team in that badly squeak past a Louisville team that brought nothing to the table. Then try to brag on your defense. No, the other team was just sorry, man. Look at all the mistakes they made. Them boys could have whooped y'all. The quarterback just couldn't deliver. People running open, arid throws. It was crazy, man. That game just sucked. Nobody want to see nothing, no part of that in the playoffs. Ohio State blow out a number 13 team, but y'all struggle to a number 16 team and want to get in. Ohio State proved a point, made a point that they should be in. Oh, but Ohio State won with their backup quarterback and you gave them a chance. Yeah, because they proved they belong. They gave y'all a chance to prove y'all belong and y'all stunk it up. No excuses. Second quarterback, third quarterback, Ohio State, like you say, was down to their third. Braxton was hurt early in the season. Then Barrett went out. Now they got Cordell. Same situation as y'all. The only difference is they team still performed as if ain't nothing missing. When y'all quarterback went down, night and day. Even your opponent said it, LSU, who played both of us. Unfortunately, y'all wasn't the same team at the beginning of the year as at the end. Blame it on your quarterback. Not the quarterback per se, but his situation. If your team kept rolling as if nothing happened like Ohio State did, we got something to talk about. Ain't no squeaking pants and think they finna put that washed up product in the playoffs. 19 is more personal facts opposed to the obvious facts at hand. Florida State is second in the nation in tears, only behind Auburn. You make sure you go and check out those Auburn, Alabama reaction videos from this year's Iron Bowl. Oh man, Auburn College is the only school that cry more than this. Auburn has set a record for most tears in a season. Florida State, you almost close. I ain't never seen that like this, Florida State. They might skip y'all next year on purpose. Because y'all know y'all didn't belong this year to be making all this noise. Y'all used to suck from losing. Now y'all just suck at losing. And all you lost was a playoff spot that you didn't deserve. And another personal fact along with 19 is number 20. FSU fans stalk. Similar, but not as good as Tennessee. Y'all stalk game cool. Y'all follow, boy. Y'all check down. Y'all come and find. Yeah, boy, y'all, hey, your online presence is known. We see you. Y'all ain't messing with Tennessee, though. Tennessee fan base, troll nation. It's crazy. Y'all ain't got nothing on those. And y'all don't cry as much as Auburn. But y'all competing for some records of y'all own, man. I can't believe Florida State, you're going out bad. Bad. We was left out last year, and you think we've ever doing it? Oh, man. Come on. We've been left out a few times. Y'all act like every chance we get a chance to get in, they vote us in. Man, I guess I need to do another breakdown of the times we've been left out. Because y'all think that every year Bama just get a free invite. Man, y'all, stop the crying and stop the press. I be forgetting if we watching football or ballet. All this crying and whining and dining. Man, y'all need to take somebody out and dinner to move all this crying and whining and dining, man. What's the next popular move out right now? Oh! I'm going to leave you with this. And tell me I ain't right, Florida State. In 93, West Virginia won the Big East, 11-0. Auburn was 11-0 as well, but wasn't eligible to play in the postseason. Nebraska was the only other Power Conference undefeated team, 11-0. Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward and Florida State go on to beat Nebraska 18-16. As Nebraska missed a field goal at the end. West Virginia end up getting whooped 41-7 by Florida. That would have been you guys. See why I went with that? I know you was going to say, but that was different. That was a different time. Yeah, I ain't saying that they was wrong by putting y'all in over West Virginia. But you see what happened to that undefeated West Virginia team. That would have been y'all this year. That one-loss team still went on to do better than that undefeated team, which is the situation we in this year. You that undefeated team. You West Virginia. Don't go and play Georgia and get whooped like West Virginia did to Florida. Just like that year, the better team, which was the one-loss team, went to the championship. Why y'all see it different now? And to add to that, as if y'all ain't never been privileged in voting, Notre Dame and Florida State both was 10-1. Notre Dame had beat Florida State head to head. It should matter on the field. It should matter on the field. Y'all already played Notre Dame and they beat y'all. Florida State was invited to play in the championship over a team that already beat them with the same record and over West Virginia who undefeated. Y'all shouldn't have been picked. It's what happened to the other team that would have cried about getting in. West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia this year. Especially if Georgia kick your teeth out. No matter what the format is, y'all done squeaked in and left some teams hanging too. We done got left out before too. Everybody get left out. What make you think this season so different? What make you think y'all deserve it so bad this year? Just because y'all done had so many bad seasons lately that this undefeated season mean we got to get in. We've been struggling so bad that an undefeated season mean we got to get in. No, that's not how this works. This it. No more tears. Get to these recruiting. Get to these bowl games. It's over. Better luck next year. Since you couldn't find nothing out in court, we just had to go with what we already know. Y'all wasting all these taxpayers' time, all these taxpayers' money. I ain't finding out nothing. I can't get nothing. I ain't found one thing. So all the facts we already know is right here laid out. It ain't nothing else to talk about. Now go do what you go do versus Georgia, or make up some more excuses and sit it out. Bama, we got work to do. Let's go. Rolleth. Bow!
This don't miss.
No, he's good.
That don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
I'd like to apologize to anyone I've not offended yet. Please be patient. I'll get to you shortly.